am here today to talk very candidly and openly about some things that I've been going through over the past couple of years medically. My intention is to share my story with you in hopes that I can help some of you out there in the future or right now if you're going through something similar as to what I was going through. This is going to be very raw, very unedited, very just me telling you everything that's been happening over the past couple of years, again, in hopes to help some others. So basically, I have always been an advocate for people getting their blood work done regularly, at least minimum of twice a year, cholesterol, regular metabolic panels, hormone testing, all of that. I've always been on top of it myself, and I've always been within normal range, minus my cholesterol. I've had high cholesterol since I was 8. It's familial, it's genetic. I was itty bitty when I was 8 years old. I wasn't overweight or anything. So I have been able to manage that with diet and exercise over the years. It has gotten higher and lower. It kind of just depends where I am in my season and body fat percentage and what foods I'm eating. But that's always been abnormal. Everything else has been normal. And I use quotations for a reason. I should also say, not a doctor, not a nurse. I'm not in the medical field or certified in any way, just giving you the information that I know and have on my body and what I've researched and learned over the past couple of years. So again, I say within normal range because the range is very broad, and sometimes you can be on the lower end and still be normal, and on the higher end and still be normal. But really, in my opinion, you want to be somewhere in the middle, which is more optimal. So that being said, I've had my blood work done over the years, twice a year at least, always checking my cholesterol and then intermittently checking my hormones. I have always known I've been on the lower side of normal, but all my doctors said, you're still normal. So I didn't question it or anything. Some of the things that I've noticed in my body over the past couple years, and my coach Chino has noticed as well, I retain water really, really easily. I put on body fat really, really easily. Some of you out there might be saying, no, you don't, you're lean, or you stay on the leaner side all year round. I work my butt off to stay on the leaner side all year round. My calories are not high. I'm 5'1". I range between 128 and 140, depending on where I am in my season. I'm not a huge person, but I do have a low caloric intake for somebody who carries as much muscle as I do on my frame and who is as active as I am. That being said, he's always kind of said, it's just, your genetics, you put on body fat a little bit faster than most people, you retain water, and we kind of just chalked it up to that's just JACLYN. And my blood work was always normal. So moving forward, I noticed I always had severe night sweats. I always thought that was just normal. It was hormonal and it depended on where I was in my cycle. I've tried to track it for years in a little app and said, okay, I have night sweats on this day. I have it on this day. It's close to my cycle. It's before I get my period. It's when I get my period, trying to figure it out. And then I just, my sisters and I always talked about it. Oh, do you have night sweats? Yeah. One sister does, one sister kind of sometimes, and we always just said, hormones. So those are kind of some of the symptoms. And then over the past couple of years, I've noticed my irritability was just heightened. I was very irritable all the time. Obviously, when you're dieting for a show, if you're a competitor out there and you're dieting for a show, you know that you get hungry and hangry or whatever, and you're irritable. Those kind of things come with bodybuilding and competing for a show, prepping for a show, and just dieting down because you're exhausted and you are hungry. So again, I didn't really think anything of it. I was just like, meh, competition life, prep life, deal with it, head down, grind it out. And I've gotten through many competitions like that, and it wasn't really an issue. I realized my past 2 improvement seasons that my irritability didn't die down when I wasn't in a super low calorie place. So in season, I was kind of like, meh, that's prep, that's my life. It's what I've chosen to do. Focus, head down, grind it out, stay away from people that really, really irritate you, and just kind of, get through it. So the past couple improvement seasons, I realized that irritability didn't die down at all. I kind of have mentioned via social media in the past couple of months, I've been a little more open about the fact that I have OCD, I have anxiety. I've had OCD since I was a kid. Anxiety has gotten a little more, has presented itself a little bit more as I've gotten older, which I think is pretty normal. You just know more about the world. You're more worried about certain things, whether it's money or safety or family or anything like that. It just kind of heightens that anxiety. So again, chalked it up to just JACLYN and normal. But I did want to work on my irritability. So I, sought out help for that. I started seeing a therapist again, and we were working on irritability and, increased my OCD medication, increased some NAC to help with the anxiety. And that helped. And I went along my day and my months and got some more blood work and saw that I was on the lower end, and just thought, okay, that's normal, and probably or looking a little bit of metabolic damage from dieting so many years and up, and down, which is completely normal, can be completely normal for a lot of people. And then I started to sit back and think about all these symptoms that I'm talking about: the irritability, the water retention, the night sweats, the putting on body fat super quickly. And I was like, I need to seek someone who deals with athletes and more hormones, and who is going to really listen to me and see if all of this adds up to something. I'm a firm believer in our bodies work as one, meaning like there's a reason why we have a heart, a brain, a circulatory system, a nervous system. They all work in conjunction with each other. It's not so separated. And I think right now, in the States at least, medicine is so specialized that if you go to a cardiologist, they're just looking at your heart. If you go to a gastroenterologist, they're looking at your stomach. So it's all just separate, and I believe it works as one. So I sought out help from a doctor that I'm now seeing, who's helping me. And she did a deep dive into my blood work, and come to find out my levels are super, super low. My thyroid is barely functioning. My testosterone is sub 3, undetectable, which means that I'm not really producing much. So those are all the reasons that I'm getting night sweats, irritability, water retention, weight gain pretty quickly when I'm not, in a super, super caloric deficit. So I reached out to her and saw her, and she checked my blood work, and we found that the cause of all these symptoms is just a couple of things, and it is just a low level of hormones. And again, I'm sharing this with you guys because I feel like it's not talked about, and I feel like most people go through their day and think that it's normal. And some of the doctors out there, and I'm not bashing doctors at all, just say that it's normal because that's what they're taught, and it's within normal range. Again, I'm not a doctor, but there is an optimal normal range, and then there's functionally low and functionally high. And I myself want to be in an optimal range. So I'm working with this doctor, and we're getting my levels back up, and I am starting HRT, which is human hormone replacement therapy. I'm sorry, it's hormone replacement therapy, not human. And we're getting my levels back up to where they should be, or where I am going to be functioning at more of an optimal level, where my irritability will decrease, my night sweats will go away, I will not retain so much water, and my body will function optimally so that my body fat percentage can stay at a healthy level without me having to keep my calories so low. This was all not found very quickly, and it has taken me a long time to get to this point, and I feel it's really important to share with everyone. I have gotten through many a competitions, busting my butt to get down to a certain body fat percentage, and my coach and I have gotten there. And I, think sometimes people think it's easy, or people think, you just stay lean, or you just, carry muscle easily, or whatever it is. But that is not the case for me. I do carry muscle, and I do put on muscle well, but none of it has come easy. And I wanted to share all this with you guys because I think it has been a very hard and an emotional thing for me, and I'm not a very emotional person, but it has been a realization that there were reasons that I was feeling all of these things. I do feel like I could have caught it sooner and been better off for the past maybe 4 or 5 years, but that's life, and we have to push forward and move forward, and that's what I'm trying to do now, and get myself healthier and feeling better, which is really what it's all about for me. This is not just about my bodybuilding life and will my competition preps and my hormone levels during competition preps be better? Yes. But this is about longevity for me as a human and as a woman. The fact that my hormone levels were so off is going to predispose me to heart disease, Alzheimer's, loss of bone density, osteoporosis, all of these things that for me, I've been working on so hard to stay healthy, and seemingly I'm healthy, but my hormone levels are saying something different. And when I get to 60, 70, 80, I would be a candidate for cancer, osteoporosis, heart disease, all of these things, Alzheimer's. Those all run in my family. And the fact that my hormones were so low, and the main hormone, testosterone, that is so important for all of those things, bone density, heart health, brain health, bone health, I said bone already, muscle, all of these things. And mine was so low that I'm setting myself up for failure almost. And I don't think that most people out there realize this. I think that we, especially women, are just taught that we age and it sucks after 50 when you go through menopause and all of these things, and that's just life, and it's the change, and you just go with it, and whatever, you suck it up. That's not the case. I'm fortunate, so fortunate, that I have my mom who has preached that's not the case since I was probably in college when she was going through menopause, and she was already on hormone therapy back then, which is like early 2000s. And she, taught my sisters and I that that's not the case for women. You don't have to just suffer and suck it up and throw your hands up in the air and say, oh, that's just life, or that's just women in their 50s and 60s. So I'm fortunate to have my mom as a role model who has taught me that that's not the case, and I can take my health into my own hands and trust my gut and trust my instincts, and really listen to my body. So having role models like that out there for me was super important, and I'm hoping that this video and me sharing on social media more of my experiences through all of this and this new chapter in my life, that I will inspire some of you out there to listen to your bodies and to seek help when you need it, or when you think something just isn't right. And yeah, I just wanted to share my experience and what I'm doing moving forward in hopes to help anyone out there. And if you have any questions, feel free to message me on this video, DM me on Instagram at JACLYN NYC. Again, not a doctor, not a nurse, just talking about my own personal experiences, what I've learned. But I will say, please, please, please get blood work. get a doctor that listens to you, that is up to date on science and medicine in 2024, almost 2025, not someone who's living in the 1970s, an archaic medical world. Again, not bashing doctors, but we all have to grow as science evolves, and there is help out there. So again, if you have any questions for me, I hope that this helps some of you out there. I hope that you go and research, look at your blood work, ask your doctors to get extra blood work, seek a doctor that is the right doctor for you, and let me know if you have any questions and you want me to do any more videos like this or talk in more depth on anything else on this topic. I'm happy to do that and share with you. Thanks for watching.